All right, let's make sure we are live. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Dungeons and Dragons stream here with your Dungeon Master and host, Ranger J 1999. Welcoming you into another night of Dungeons and Dragons. Satan's game. That's right, Cake from Kitty Yoda. That's right. For Cake Him. Welcome to the stream where we do some Dungeons and Dragons in the land of Faerûn, 5th edition. Glad to have you guys here. I'll let these guys introduce themselves in a moment. As we start getting to the end of this saga with these characters who has done the impossible through sheer determination, dedication, agitation, regurgitation.
And a lot of health potions.
Not only did they send all the demons from the abyss back to their lairs, but knowing that that scheming Loth was up to something, they invaded the 54th layer of the abyss, along with a great army from Grimm. They've finally destroyed her evil plans, which was to create a whole slew of demons to take over the entire abyss. But that will not be happening for Loth, because last game, the characters beat her. Speaking of which, let's go around the corn and let these characters introduce themselves. Starting with Ouchie Dumpling.
Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Jazmyra Synn. I'm a Drow Life Cleric of Elistray and a College of Glamour Bard, and if we need to summon an army from Kegheim, then that'll work too.
No, it's Grimm. Sorry. Too many dwarven kingdoms I've had to deal with in my dungeon mastering days. They get mixed up. You're eating Oreos for Poby because I miss her, says DPK. Yeah, I went over from Poby one Kenobi gets in a long time. Yes, long time friend of the channel. Next is JohnnyMo.
I'm playing as Ribin Hoggather, the fighter / cleric halfling of the group.
Let's just go with fighter. Yeah.
Band. I got that community college degree in cleric.
Sure. That's what we tell everybody.
It was D's for diploma, man. Like, weapons are my religion.
What's your church and religion? The Church of...
Church of the Spiky Instrument.
And things. Fine Corinthian leather.
Hello, it's your Finger Blaster Master, Dorian Dahr, your Bard Warlock.
And last but not least, DPK.
I apparently have the giggles today, but I'm Briton. I play the half-elf Oathbroken Paladin that went to the College of Valor.
Yes, in the land of Burberry. And last but not least, we have Grimm. He'll join us when he can. We're not sure what's going on with him. Could be just running behind from work. It happens sometimes. In the mechanic field, these things happen. So yeah. Last episode, everything culminated into the final battle. The characters defeated Loth. They had just defeated her. And yeah, work is evil. Idiot, I agree. After the battle, everybody kind of healed up and got the hell out of there, because you don't want to stick around in the abyss for any long period of time, because it will corrupt you in very, very bad ways. All the wounded, all the hurt, the dead were brought back to Grimm as you guys are going through the portal back into the land of Grimm. You can see tons of dwarves and other people, elves and stuff that are getting treated, some that have been killed, bodies with covers on them and stuff. People give you definitely give you a nod of approval as you come walking through. But one of those things where you just share a common look, like we just went through hell in a handbasket, we'll celebrate later. So, Resonant Band, you have just defeated Loth. You've stopped the great evil from entering into Faerûn, what do you guys do now?
We're going to Disneyland.
There's no such place. That's a minus 50 DKP to Ouchie because she made shit up.
I'm gonna start saying that we're gonna have to be able to demand a much higher venue than what we've played in the past. Minimum like 500 seat,
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
and we want at least 50% of the door.
Okay.
At least.
I mean, I'm probably also not the one that should negotiate contracts.
You just enforce them.
Yeah.
I think you'd be excellent at it, Ribin, honestly.
Maybe.
You keep us in line, you can keep
Well,
all
I
the
mean, that's
venues
just,
in line.
yeah. I mean, I'll make sure that they have, like loaves of white bread for us and M&Ms and all that sort of
Only
stuff.
green ones. We need to sort out the green ones. Only
Well,
the
there's a
green.
point for that, because when you go and you put something like that into a contract, you are able to very quickly ensure that they actually read said contract.
Mhm.
Because if you go in there and you're like, red M&Ms, what the hell? We're leaving because you didn't follow the contract. It gives you an easy out if you don't want to play there anyway.
Shop owner's son was a whole nother story together.
Mm.
I had to beat him to death with the shoe. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to allow these kids to kind of tell me what happens with the Resonant Band after this great achievement. And then we're also want them to think about this. What happens to each of their individual characters as we've gone through this journey through the Underdark, through fighting all these demons, through everything that they've been through? What happens to the Resonant Band after this? And then what happens, anything specifically to each of the characters moving forward? These are now well-known heroes throughout the land. They are now citizens of Grimm. They have connections in the underworld, obviously, because of Jaraxel. They have made friends with not only King Brunner, but also Dritz Dorden and Canterbury. Yeah. They're well known with the Harpers and other organizations that know about this feisty band of musicians that somehow escaped slavery from the Drow, and through that process ended up saving the very place that looked to be the end of them. And not only that, defeated the evil plans of law. So, yes, the Resonant Band is well known through organizations. Maybe not so much through the land. They'll have to work on that. But, that'll be up for the band to decide on what they do from this point forward. But heaps of praises and stuff, and they've been well rewarded for their adventures and stuff. But after literally going through hell and back, for the time being, for the foreseeable future, what happens to the Resonant Band? What do you guys think happens to the Resonant Band as a group? What do you guys end up doing?
We just go back to playing the one-offs at the pubs?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know.
I'm asking the other guys in the chat.
Well, maybe, Ganthelgrim's pretty nice. Maybe we stay here, see if we can set up like a month or so, like gig at a venue here.
Easily done.
I mean, we're friends with the king and like all of his friends, so I mean that's kind of like,
yeah.
I feel like people kind of come to the shows a lot.
I'm thinking rock opera about all our experiences. What do y'all think?
How hardcore a rock opera? Are we talking Repo the Genetic Opera, or are we talking like
I'm talking Tommy,
Joseph?
Pinball Wizard.
Sort of like right in the middle.
Okay.
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 So it's almost more like a theme album.
So for a little while, you can say you guys are at Gauntlegrim. The doors not only do they respect you because you're great warriors, but through your great music playing, they come to respect you as musicians, and you guys find a little place easy enough where a lot of the dwarves, soldiers, and workers come every day, and you guys play a show. You take a few days off, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you guys are working hard, and then Sunday through Tuesday, you work on some material and chill out, and get to explore more of Gauntlgrim. We'll say that you even get a rare glimpse of deep into the actual forging area where they make the incredible where the elemental Megara is, and get to see that process with Canterbury leading you guys down as a kind of a treat, a thank you for all you guys did. No one's allowed there, but only the highest, the Dwarven Smiths, the king and her, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we'll say for their first month or two, you guys play Gauntlgrim, but you start getting that restless feeling in your legs. You guys are a traveling band. Where would you guys head to first? You have from Waterdeep to Baldur's Gate to Neverwinter to wherever you guys want to go. You guys can. The world's your oyster.
I'd kind of like to stay away from anywhere really cold.
Okay.
So maybe we don't go north until the summertime.
Summertime.
But I feel like we could probably do pretty well in like all the areas by the Sword Coast and stuff like that. And, I mean, we could even, really go into easy mode and just start playing like surf music. I feel like Jimmy Buffett lived like 75 years doing that.
Yacht rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you guys head first after Gauntlgrim? What would be your first destination? You guys, as the Resonant Band, where would you like to go?
Weren't we on our way to Waterdeep when we got kidnapped?
You were.
We probably should go there, because there's probably ticket holders that are waiting.
It's been a while. Those tickets expired. Yeah, you might want to have to redo that whole thing.
So if those tickets expired, those people are probably kind of mad. Maybe we don't want to go to Waterdeep.
Well, you don't know.
Yeah, we got to eventually.
Okay, we'll say you go to the Waterdeep, and to your amazement and surprise, you are welcome. Not only are you welcome with open arms, because the people that need to know who you are know who you are. Not only do you get gigs that you normally would never have gotten, but you also get private paying gigs for the nobility. So yes, you guys are able to, you guys, work is easily found, and people come flocking in as is the word of your deeds of what you guys have spread. And of course, you guys encapsulated in your music. Waterdeep is just a springboard for you guys to make fame and fortune. Something you guys seem to have gone after, and now it is here. You guys, music has always been good, but now you've got this heroic fame that follows you guys, and you sing about it along with other things, and people can't get enough of it. So we go to Waterdeep, and then you start going down the Sword Coast. You go to Luskan, you go to all these places, and the name starts spreading far and wide of the Resonant Band, the group of adventurers that saved the world from the abyss. Friends of Gauntlgrim, of Silvery Moon, of the Harpers. Unbeknownst to anybody, you're also very popular with Jaraxxle, who, you guys start making some workings and wits and stuff, Jaraxxle set some things up for you guys, on the up and up.
Can we ask him if he can use his underworld connections to make sure that nobody's bootlegging our stuff?
Not only will he do that, he will do that for you, no problem.
He's the best.
Because what he does is he finds those people, extorts profit from them, and then gives you some of that profit.
I feel like Lars going after Napster now.
We gotta come down on the ticket scalpers too. They're evil.
Oh, that's next. Ticketmaster is our next arch enemy.
Yeah,
that's the next campaign.
Through his different connections and stuff, you guys are able to see that starts for you guys only. Not for anybody else, but for you guys, that thing becomes a thing of the past.
Yeah, when it's cheaper for me to fly to like Minnesota to see the Dave Matthews Band for a weekend than to get one ticket to Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
Yeah.
Easy enough. All right. Anything that you'd like to say that the Resonant Band overall, as you guys are the group, what is the one thing you guys as a group want to accomplish more than anything?
World domination.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, musically.
Yeah, obviously.
That's not going to. Yeah, you're not going to happen.
Queen.
There's just a lot of regions of the world that just ain't jamming to your vibe.
Oh, well, they're wrong.
Well, okay, if you want to go to Thay and see if you can pull it off, I will miss you, and you will all become.
Where are we going?
Not Thay.
Oh.
They who?
You know the Red Wizards of Thay. Quit farting around, Johnny.
They have good books there. I think we should go read some books.
Yes, you were, and it was there that the Resonant Band was never heard or seen of again. Oh man.
Not music lovers.
No.
So maybe not they, or them. They.
They.
Them.
Thay.
They them.
However they want to identify themselves. Like some parts, of Faerûn, Cormyr, and even the Elven Kingdoms welcome you in, and you're able to do well. At some places, you just know we're not going there. Not good. We will die.
We definitely want to go to Candlekeep. That's for sure.
Yeah, and all the cities.
You actually could go to Candlekeep. If you wanted to. Let's say one of your adventures is that you guys write a book about your tales, and you present it to Candlekeep, and you have free access to Candlekeep for whatever you want to look at, because you have brought them the story of the Great Resonant Band, which they are more than willing to make that trade for you guys.
It's cool.
It was written by some asshole named Volo.
Oh no.
Could we buy an airship eventually so it'll make it easier to tour?
I would say, yeah, with the amount of money and stuff that you guys acquire over the time, I mean, just alone from what you got from doing in the Abyss and then investing and then with Jar Axel and just the sheer amount of, it's JohnnyMo and Batman. Good to see you, my bud. He says, I'm going to be in the mountains of Tennessee, June 23rd to the 28th with no electronics, so I won't be in the stream from there. Well, that happens, yeah. But yes, it's JohnnyMo. It's the guy in the top right there.
Hi.
JohnnyMo.
Thank you for rooting for me.
The almost ginger man. Yeah, we'll say you guys get a small airship, not a large one. It's not luxurious, but it's cozy, it's comfortable, it's good enough that you guys are able to use that for, those, when you get a gig across the water instead of, taking a ship, you guys just fly there. Or if, you have a date, you don't always use it, but when you use it, it's for big gigs or something that you guys get. Because the Resonant Band moving forward is something that people want to, they want to hear, they want to see you guys become famous. People look at you with adoration and respect as the tales of your deeds and your story. It motivates new heroes, a whole new generation of heroes. Here's the story of the Resonant Band. These just normal folks just trying to make a living playing music that became the heroes that saved the world. All right, anything else?
How about we get into extra planar travel? What if we take this thing to just different levels of reality?
You were never seen or heard of again because Jasmine forgets there's a lot of parts of the planes you do not want to go to.
Well, I don't want to go to the bad ones, only the good ones.
Well, they're a little bit... that's... No, I'm gonna... Yes, Desi Jingle Snarf Snarf is listening.
Hi, Desi.
I will say this. You guys do, in your adventures as time goes on, get invited to play for the good guys. the court in the Fae, in the plains of the Fae. So you go and play for a couple of the nobles there because they've heard of your deeds and invite you to go there. So I'd say that would be something you guys could do. I don't think
like free jazz there.
On the other hand, I don't think you were heading to the Shadowlands. Yeah, not the Plane of Shadows and all that other stuff. I don't think, not something you guys would be interested in doing because again, then they were never heard or seen from again. Yeah, so you got an airship. You got we'll say eventually, where would you guys like to say would be your home base? Where would you guys make your home base of operations? You got to have a place from, where you keep your airship and where you settle in. Where would you want it to be?
Well, we got that portable castle.
It's just a little stronghold, but it's not really a place you want to live in.
We could use it until what we have built is built.
Well, yeah, but where would you want that built? What city in the land and all the places you visit, where would you want to make your home? Your home where you guys all kind of reside and live, between gigs and traveling and stuff like that. Keep your airship, that kind of thing.
Well, I would suggest that, when Grimm is there, right, you got to come up out of the ground. So
that's not a good place. Not a good place for an airship.
Well, outside, not on.
Outside,
there's got to be like an exit.
There's an exit, but it's kind of like the Mines of Moria kind of exit. And outside of Grimm is a gnomish, halfish city that exists there that is for trade and stuff. You guys could maybe set up a little place there.
Yeah, maybe like a mile outside of town.
That's where it is. Yeah, it's you
castle.
Can. Yeah, not like a little mansion you guys have. It's got gates, and you guys are able to hire security and
swimming pool.
There's no swimming pool. Stop it.
I'd want a swimming pool.
Well, you're not getting a swimming pool.
How about a pond?
What about a hot tub?
You're not getting a hot tub. What is this?
We're like rich, famous.
These things don't exist. I don't care. These things don't exist in this world.
It's a tub, and we hire some wizard. To
now that's different. You can get a nice little, big watering thing that you heat, and that's as close as you're getting.
Yeah. We'll hire a wizard assistant or something.
That's easy enough done. Yeah, let's just say you have a nice
heat
giant,
water and
move
water.
One of kind of those stone baths that you can heat up and stuff like that. You can soak in that kind of thing. Yeah, I can. See
Listen, if Motley Crue can have a hot tub in the back of a limo to drive down Sunset Boulevard in L.A. in the '80s, we can have whatever we want.
Oh, in that case, no.
What the hell?
But no, you guys. You're able to easily afford, with all your money you guys make, very nice accommodations. And this, I can't remember the name of the place, but yeah, you guys are well known there. You're well liked. It's a great place for you guys too. You can get information, things of that nature. Give them a flying ship. They get greedy. Jesus Christ.
It's not that much further if we already have an airship.
Well, you get an airship and you get a nice big juicy tub of hotness, but that's as far as I'm going. You're not getting a limo. You're not getting jet. You're not getting any of that crap.
Well, we already have the jet and the airship.
Well, yeah, the airship. It's not jet-like, but it does fly. It does fly.
Just like an extra long wagon.
Yeah.
Can we get a Tommy Lee drum set for
No!
Dorian?
What?
Come on,
there's no such thing. It doesn't exist in this world.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
You just cast levitate on the drum kit. You don't need a rig.
Okay.
Well, what you can do is we'll hire this wizard again. We'll have him go and cast that big sphere spell.
Your wizard bitch that goes around with you and just does this.
Sphere.
Okay. Right.
Well, yeah, because he's also going to have to do pyrotechnics for the show.
Pyrotechnics, yes.
Yeah,
that's easy enough to do.
Yeah, I can see the
cast
pyrotechnics, yes.
What is that, like Otto's sphere or whatever? And
sure, you can do that, but you're not getting some mechanical...
No, it's literally just a wizard, like, levitating on him. The wizard sits there rethinking his life that, he trained for hundreds of years.
Well, you pay him very much. You pay him very well. That's why he does it.
Well, yeah, but we don't even remember his name half the time.
I think it's Bill or something like that.
And he
see.
could have the magnificent mansion spell, so we could have our place wherever we go. We could put up the magnificent mansion.
Well,
and-
you can have it. Well, at your guys'
That's much better than a tour bus.
Well, yeah, eventually you guys can easily have that available. You can afford it. So yeah, you guys get your house and mansion and the grounds and beautiful, and the people in the community love you, and you guys, you know, on your off time when you're not doing stuff, you go into this little town just like you used to when you were, you know, just starting, and just for fun you play for, you know, the dwarves and the halflings and the elves and of these people that live here, and they enjoy just listening to you guys play your songs, and you guys have a good time. It's more of a, you know, kind of impromptu, just play music and just have fun, and everybody dances and has a good time, that kind of thing. Especially when you guys are working on new material, this is a place where you guys can go. You have a small little inn that you can go to and work on new material, see what works, what doesn't work on the crowds and stuff like that, and get some good ideas for your next big shows that you do as you travel the world and bring joy and entertainment to the masses. Okay. Anything else at the Resonant Band before we start going individual? Anything else that you guys are doing as a band and stuff like that?
I mean, maybe we could have like a line of clothing and like concert T-shirts made, and
Where do we sign up
Merchandising.
for hookers and blow?
I would say merchandising, sure. I don't know about the t-shirts in this kind of environment,
Well-
but like trinkets.
Well,
and
there'll be tunics.
well, you can
concert tunics.
concert tunics, yeah,
Well,
maybe.
We could have like a bunch of people like knit little like sweaters that you
I
could
would
put
say-
bottles of meat
So
into.
hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh yeah, that's a good
What a-
idea.
What about our own line of armor?
Ooh.
There you
That
go.
would be really.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
but then
what
we'd
the
be selling it.
It's.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I mean, you could.
We don't need to do armor, but I like the idea. Merch. We need Resonant
Well, yeah,
Band
I
merch.
think the merch
Yeah, like,
idea. Yeah, the
come
merch
up with,
idea, like
a
the
cool,
tunics, but
like,
you have
symbol.
like little figurines made of you guys that people can buy. You know,
Well,
that kind
action
of.
figures.
Yeah, you know, little wood and stuff like that. You guys can sell at your venues and stuff like that you guys make a hefty profit of. You actually get a store opened up in this town that people come from all over to buy Resonant Band merch, and you guys make quite a pretty penny from that because
Little figurines of each of us.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
miniature
yeah,
little, you know.
you guys get portraits
Caricatures of
done,
ourselves.
yeah, and stuff like that. You know, each of you get a portrait that's replicated that people can have and they can hang up in their house. Individual and also as a
possibilities are
group.
endless.
Yeah, so you guys make a pretty sum of money from that too. All right, I say that easily happens. The merch for a Resonant Band definitely happens. Lots of
Yeah,
little
I mean, I
small
figure,
things
you
and
know,
trinkets and
since-
stuff you guys can sell.
Since we're in good with Candlekeep, we can, you know, definitely have projects that, you know, we can sort of work into the schools there where some of their really high-end students can start like enchanting little like wooden bases about that big where you can have like a greater image pop up that could play like a song with us. They'd have to enchant it, so it'd be like a senior project.
No, the Candlekeep is a place of storing knowledge and learning stuff. You're not allowed to do that kind of stuff. But what kind of Wizardly group would? I'm trying to think of who would be interested in that.
I mean, wizards.
I
are
mean,
always
we
looking
could
funny.
say like from Waterdeep and some other contexts you've made, like you guys create something like that with their schools of magic that exist in those cities and stuff like that. You know, through your negotiations and
there-
stuff.
There's something we could do. We could start our own school.
Start a music school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Start
School
a
of
music
Rock.
school.
No,
There
it will
you-
not be called the School of Rock. You have to
Oh.
come up with something else.
School of Jack Black.
Yeah.
That's even worse. I'm going to
There's
just
a bard
MEI.
I've heard of. Jack Black.
No, that's not true. But no, I could say you
We
guys.
could get him.
Where would you start the school? It wouldn't be. I guess you know what. You started in this town too. You have the Resonant Band shop, but you also create a school there. And
We can call it the Resident Academy.
there you go, the Resonant Academy. I kind of like that. And people come there to learn their craft from the masters themselves. You can get a class from Elion, from
Elione?
Sorry.
What?
This is how you smoke weed.
Talk about plane shifting.
I know. I'm tired.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go there.
No.
We're gonna go to our Kegheim next.
No, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
But
It
yeah,
does.
you guys can teach like your own musical instruments and stuff. If you want to be a teacher there, you can. But you also hire some other teachers and stuff that people can learn to. It's a school not only for being a bard, but as a musician. So you also teach a lot of history there, a lot of lore. Knowledge is shared at this academy.
Self-defense.
Sure, why not? You got to know how to fight, right?
Well, you got to make sure you don't get mugged.
Getting mugged sucks, and you guys have the first class ever to how to not be mugged. Step 1, step on their foot. Step 2, cut their throat. 3, run. All right. Step 4, make profit. Let's see here. Okay, any other ideas for the Resonant Band? As we're just, I think we've kind of, I think all that is pretty good. I think the airship, the mansion, all the necessities, the school, the merchandising, the fame, the fortune. Well,
Resident Band, the flamethrower.
The kids love.
Do we
want to
think about maybe as we age, bringing in new people so we're kind of like Menudo? Do we want to keep the band going and just replace each other?
That's something we can talk about in a future. If we.
Our egotistical guitarist brings in his son to play bass.
I know, right?
Like,
well, if he's not playing, I'm not playing. Well, then you're fired. Get the frack out of here. VH1 documentaries. The Resonant Band.
Behind the music.
Behind the music. That would be so funny. They were a traveling band on their way to Waterdeep until one day fate intervened. From there, the music that would come from them would come from their actual own experience of, well, going to hell. We have like parts of it where in there we have like the part where Corinth was a complete asshole. During this time of the Resonant Band, one member finally succumbed to his madness and became a dick. You see Jasmine like, and I swear he was just such an asshole.
I spent like 2 weeks trying to get the goddess Elestrahi to go and fix him.
We tried everything.
And meanwhile, it pans to Dorian, and he's like, looking back, I really don't think I was all that bad. And then everyone pummels him.
Just a flurry of fists come at you.
And then you go back to Johnny like, no, he was a piece of shit. I mean, honestly.
And then there was that time where he thought he was the tank.
That was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, that was rather funny.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. Behind the music, the Resonant Band. You know them across Faerûn as the greatest band ever, playing live sold-out shows and even small venues from their home base and blah blah blah. They've set this industry on fire. But would you happen to know their origin?
I feel like half the stories that
how y'all met each other,
slightly less coherent than Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. I'm not playing the show, Sharon.
Well, we met these fish people in Ooka-Boopa, and they were doing
Johnny always saying the wrong
this
shit with his character.
thing where like they were. This guy wanted to kill his daughter with our help, but then he killed her anyway, and she exploded into a monster thing. And
You see them.
food was really bad.
They interview the 3 guardians of the library, Master Payne has his thoughts. Yeah, I thought they all sucked. Except Dorian, he was pretty cool. Oh my god, that would be so great if you had a video like that. Jesus Christ. Behind the music, the Resonant Band. Oh my god. Think about that one. Okay. Still no idea from Grimm. Any word from the Grimmither or anything? I haven't got any tags or anything. Alright, well.
No, he said that he was... Let me look. He replied somewhere. Oh, he said he's on his way.
Well, while we're
It'll probably
waiting...
be a little bit.
Yeah. While we're doing that, let's go around the corn. Start getting the final arcs of these characters for now. JohnnyMo. Of course, everything that goes on with the Resonant Band goes on with the Resonant Band, but what does Ribin, what does he individually want to accomplish? What are some of the things that Ribin does as he moves forward from this adventure? What does he want to accomplish?
Well, I would pretty regularly check in with Grimm because
Sure.
my home country was kind of devastated by Drow, so
Sure.
I kind of semi in my own head adopt Grimm as my new like home, and I want to make sure that it's taken care of. And, I mean, they're pretty well off, so it's not like they're hurting for much. But I
good ally,
offer my
good
services.
friend, and they develop a relationship with the folks there. Absolutely.
I offer my services as a sword whenever they might need one.
Yeah, and they kind of treat you more like you're a break in case of emergency kind of thing. They just do what they do. So, but if they ever need you, they'll get you.
Yeah.
The golden son of Edathon. Okay, that's the one thing. Okay.
Cool. And then as we're going out on tour, I'll make sure that I'm giving money to like orphanages,
Sure.
hospitals and stuff. And
Sure.
then when we start our music academy, I'll be teaching a lot of the self-defense courses.
Right. You're the
In the
teacher that everybody
process-
hates. He's such a
Well,
dick.
yeah, you get none of their names right.
Yeah.
And so
He called me
eventually, like, Aaron, look, just pay attention to class.
baloney.
And nice, just stop. But I'll sit there eventually, and I'll be teaching them, like, if you're a musician, worst case scenario, you might have to use your instrument as a weapon.
Uh-huh.
And I will start tinkering, and I will eventually pioneer the attachment of a bayonet lug to the end of a flute,
I like that. Yes.
creating the first combat flute.
The first combat flute. I like that.
And depending on the size of the flute, I mean, a piccolo, you really only get like a little dagger, but regular
Sure.
flute, you can have like a short sword. When you get down to like a bass flute, I mean, first off,
Well, yeah,
gotta be
you
kind
create
of a
flute
big
jitsu.
fella to play it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
What you're
flujitsu.
saying is you're a tactical flautist?
Yes.
Yes, basically.
And by the time you really do get down to like bass flute, you're able to attach like a
Oh.
great sword to the end of it.
Okay,
And
that's
then
that.
swing
that
it.
okay, you lost me
What's
with the
a
great
whistler?
sword. Okay, now you
wouldn't
lost
that
me.
that would just throw off the balance of the
It
instrument.
really
like,
would. I'm sorry.
Well,
the great
like,
sword. I mean,
you
the
gotta get up
dagger,
and
that
play
kind of
with it.
stuff. No. You lost me with the
Why
great
not?
sword.
Maybe like a long sword.
Nah,
Shwink, shwink.
You forget magical weapons are lighter.
I know, but most people can't afford that. The dagger,
Most
the
people
knives.
can't afford a bass flute. All right. I
Well,
mean,
that's
have you
why
ever
they go to
seen what a bass
musical.
flute costs?
I know what a bass flute costs. It's crazy.
Like,
A lot of pipes, a lot of
Yeah.
holes.
they're like 9 feet tall. Like, they're bent. They're like weird paperclip formations.
But yes, yeah, you create flujitsu. All right, anything
Hmm.
else?
I'd be pushing for, a newer and newer like technological and magical means into merchandising.
All right, so you're more involved with the merchandising stuff, sure.
Yeah, I'm like an idea guy. I can't really like do them.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, you
hey,
come up
wouldn't
with
it be cool if
ideas
we could do
and-
this. So like, do
and,
it.
and your
Wizard
team,
guy.
and most of the time your team thinks it's a good idea. Sometimes they think that you have brain damage, but they are always respectful and say, no, we can't do that. Yes, we can do that, and they give you everything they got.
Yeah.
You need a good marketing team and people like that will tell you no.
Yeah, like a bunch of guys with like chiseled jawlines and business suits.
Yeah, ladies with big
50s
broad
haircuts.
shoulders. Yeah,
You're the Elon Musk of flutes.
Yes. All right. Anything else, JohnnyMo? I think that's pretty good.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, for the future, that's what ends up with our Ribin Hoggather. All right. Fine Corinthian leather. What happens with Dorian in the future? We've got all the stuff that's happening with the Resonant Band that you guys have laid out. But what about Dorian individually?
Well, I got some thoughts. Some are more outrageous than
All right,
others.
Aragon, have a good night. Go ahead, Dorian.
So I will start with the less outrageous. How about that? So obviously I will be like a senior instructor at the Resident Academy.
Okay,
and
you
stuff,
decide to be a
so-
Um, teacher there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to find like
What is your
maybe
what,
like
what
a-
are you teaching there? What is a thing that Dorian will specialize in at the academy?
drums and books.
Drums and
Finger
books.
blasting?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about the fingers? You gotta have a
Well, you
finger
use your
blasting
fingers
class.
with in the drumming.
That's like a
kinda
varsity
comes up.
sport.
And you got to turn the pages.
That's a varsity thing.
Fingers are there too.
All right, so becomes one of the instructors when he can.
But
at the-
and try and find like hopefully like a standout student to become like an apprentice or something like that. That's kind of the focal point of that. Find like a prodigy or something, someone that I can teach the drumming ways and things like that.
yeah, you haven't found him yet, but but
I would not expect it. It would be soon.
Takes time. You have a high standard. You just can't seem to find the right person yet. That
Very cool. Very
become
cool.
your apprentice that you would pass on the finger blasting legacy. Okay, anything else for Dorian? You have to be an instructor.
Oh yeah, no,
travel the world with a band.
I got 5 things, so I got 4 more.
Oh my God! All right,
Yeah.
number
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
What is number 2
Yeah,
on?
number 2 would be even though we didn't really get to investigate it much in the campaign. I am a warlock with a patron, so I would he would like investigate his Dow patron a little bit more and.
Yeah, I was
learn-
saving that more for a future kind of thing, but yeah, I would say
Yeah.
that's something you do for sure.
Definitely. All right, so more to the more complex stuff. One of my 8th level spell choices was Simulacrum, and I did not assume we would be able to find snow before the battle with Loth, so
No,
I would kind of go on like a quest to kind of prepare to make a Simulacrum when ready. So I would gather the ingredients, and maybe I'm not trying to make like a specialized version of the spell, but just make it more personal. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
find a special kind of ice and do it in a specific
5 finger
area.
simulacrum.
Yeah, kind of thing. So I have a finger blasting buddy that we can do duets with and stuff and try and blow
Okay.
the acoustics out of our new hall or something.
Okay, I like that. Okay, number 4.
Number 4 would be I would like to go on a quest to locate the wish spell, because that will be in my capability to cast. So I'm not saying I will get it, but I
Roll
wanna
a
at least
D100.
try.
Let's see if you get it.
Oh, wow.
Seven.
No.
Aw.
Use one of my rerolls.
Okay, use one of your rerolls.
A 7?
It was an automatic fail. He rolled a 11. He failed immediately.
That's just my luck with D100s. It's almost always really bad. Anytime it's a D100,
You don't want to be fucking around with 11s with me.
When Ranger rolled a D100 for Hadlin's armor, one of them was a 7.
Sickening.
Let's put it that
Sickening.
way.
Sickening.
34.
I'll say you were able to get your hands on a wish spell scroll. However, it's going to take you quite a lot of time and study to actually learn the intricacies of that spell. But I'd say it's something in your futures definitely you will be capable of with a little bit of effort and stuff. Make a story about it. think that would be well within the possibilities. I don't think that would. It would just be a matter of time, not a matter of if, but when.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. But you do get your hands. It's getting your hands on it is one thing. Being able to cast it like the way it's going to take you some time and study, but that's okay. You got plenty of it.
Awesome. And then probably the most complex one is I will like to keep in contact with Jaraxel from Brigand Diarth and attempt to not be a member, but do interactions with them and stuff more. Yeah, I would like to continue working for him, basically.
Okay. Yeah, he hires you once in a while to find out some information or get a lay of the land. You're able to, as you are famous and stuff, able to wander the halls of nobility and things of that nature and get information, and we'll pass it on to Jaraxel and gives you, you guys trade in information. You trade him information about what you're hearing about trade and things of that nature from like all the people you're talking with, and he gives you information, certain towns and what's going on in the underground and stuff for you guys ahead of time when you guys decide you want to go to a city to find out what's happening there, so you guys don't get caught with your pants down, that kind of thing. Yeah, I can see you guys trading information.
Yeah, because Dorian really enjoyed his interactions with Jaraxel and Brigand Diarth quite. That's right. So that's definitely someone he would keep interacting.
That's right.
All right, that's it for me.
Okay, Jazmyra, we know what's going on with the Resonant Band, but what's going on with Jazzy?
Well, I think foremost on her mind, and has been since before this all started, kind of in her backstory, was trying to do some figuring out about why she looks so old. Seeing if we can suss out if there's anything she can do about it so she can get her more youthful appearance back.
I would say that you were able to go on a pilgrimage in between one of your guys' long, roadie things. Jasmine says she has to go on a religious pilgrimage to find some answers about herself, which you guys are fine with. You got the school and other things keeping you guys busy. It's nothing out of the realm of nothing crazy. It seems reasonable and stuff. Is it something you would do on your own, Jazzy, or would you have somebody come with you?
Oh, just on her own.
All right, so you go on this pilgrimage and stuff, and you kind of learn that back in the day when you were very young and you lost this memory, you were cursed by accident. Your enclave that had was raised, and you had been attacked by evil Drow, and they were throwing magic around and stuff and curses and things, and you happen to get hit with kind of a somewhat of an aging spell, more like a look more than anything. It didn't have anything to affect with your age. It was just more like magic went bonanza. And this was during the time of wild magic really going nuts in Faerûn. But you go on this pilgrimage and you try to find answers and stuff, and you pray, but really you're determined to find the answer on your own. But it kind of comes to the head that there's just really nothing that you can think of. And so one night you're doing your dance on the full moon, and Illustrate comes to you and lifts the curse.
Yay!
So Jasmine gets her youthful. She comes back and comes walking in, and you guys are like having breakfast. Here comes Jasmine, and you guys all draw your weapons because you don't know who the fuck this person is that just came in this young Drow elf.
Wait, would they just immediately draw weapons at a hot young Drow?
Yeah, I think
chick?
they would. Well, just walking in, in the Drow.
Specifically a Drow, yes.
And then Jasmine.
When you guys are, when we're hanging out in Gauntlgrim, there's plenty of Drow.
It's more of a
around
humorous thing, they don't know who you are, kind of thing.
Could I do a perception check on her to see?
Sure,
if
do a perception check, Johnny,
Wait.
with disadvantage.
Jazzy, is that you? I'd recognize that ass anywhere.
That's not what you would do.
So
Oh
I
my
You
rolled
God.
walk
two
into the
11s.
room backwards,
Ribin,
Briar.
enemy, get him.
I rolled 2 11s.
Yes, attack.
I will fix bayonet on my flute and I will run at her.
just before you do, she actually.
Are we rolling initiative? Because I'll kill you all.
No. You as soon as she starts speaking, you guys all just sit there dumbfounded as you look at the youthful, very young looking, even though she's way older than you guys, young, youthful looking Jazmyra.
Did you get a haircut?
Oh my God.
I did. Thank you for noticing.
Well, it looks good. It
She did
brings out
not
your
get a
face more.
haircut because she's.
It brings out your
straight.
cheekbones.
It
Yes.
brings out the bloodshot in your eyes.
Oh, well, that's from something else. We don't need to talk about why that is.
Cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Let's not get into that.
Yes,
Oh, but yeah, thank you.
Jazmyra's got her youthful.
That's fantastic.
All right.
She's pleased as punch. And then, for some more recreational pursuits.
Mm-hmm.
And there goes Briar's dreams.
she's gonna perhaps float the idea of sponsoring and starting an annual beard judging competition in Gauntlgrim.
That's rejected.
Gauntlgrim's next top beard.
Yeah, not rejected.
No, it's gonna happen whether you like it or not.
No, it doesn't.
He told me to do it.
She would never say something like that. She knows better. Morden would have a stroke. Holy shit.
You can't stop her. She's gonna do it.
Well, you're gonna try, but no avail. Although I will say this, Jazz.
She's gonna be the only judge as well, and there will be some,
We'll see what happens is that the
big
dwarves,
hubbub,
the dwarves,
conspiracy about it.
yeah, but the dwarves, hearing what you're doing, but they love you because of just the warrior and who you are and stuff. It's kind of a thing when you guys are doing stuff after the show, dwarves, just having fun with it more than anything, showing off their beard and then you giving it a rating, based off, all that stuff. And that's kind of a fun thing for you and the dwarves to kind of do, like, they get a kick out of it, like and they will give each other, because dwarves love to talk shit to one another, haha, she said your beard is awful, should have used some conditioner, bitch, that kind of thing.
I can't imagine a dwarf ever saying that, but okay.
But they take pride in their beards. But yeah,
You should have used conditioner, bitch. I don't think that's.
You get what I'm getting, the gist of it, though.
Wow.
Would they buy things like beard and shoulders?
Yeah, beard and shoulders.
Well, see, the thing is that Jazz is going to use this to launch her own line of beard care products.
So instead of being the Breck girl, you'd be the beard girl?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an excellent marketing campaign.
And it goes over well with the nobility of Gauntlgrim. Yeah, they do like to have really good looking beards, court and stuff like that. The more of the working class, they're not interested. The warriors and stuff like that, they're just kind of like, yeah, no thanks. But
Jazzy opens the first dwarven Hooters, which is all about beards.
that is not what happens.
Yeah, like a tilted kilt, but
No.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
It's called neck beards.
Oh my God.
mhm.
God damn it.
All right, next idea from Jazzy. What happened? So we've got the beard.
She's going to do her
thing.
best to not get embroiled in any, drama or, accusations that she's taking bribes or some such for who she
Or-
picks as the winner.
Oh, they don't care about that. They just want to do what you think. Okay.
And she'll do a little solo project as well, where she
Okay.
does her own little jazz lounge singing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Maybe some burlesque.
Oh,
Now that she's got her youth back,
okay. I like that. All right. So that's Jazzy's.
And then, lastly, we
Okay,
cannot
last.
forget, she will continue to spread the word of our dear Lady Elistrae and continue to give her thanks and donate a portion of all her profits to her.
I don't know if you would donate your profits, but one thing I would say you would be more.
I said a portion.
Well, now,
Of course.
Elistrae's not into that, but what she is into is your service to, I would say, what you being her chosen, helping enclaves get started, going to enclaves when they
Exactly.
need help.
That's where the money needs to go. Exactly.
not
Building
about-
temples. pamphlets.
He's not about temples.
This is how religions work, Ranger.
Not hers. But no, I would say you being who you are brings a guiding moment when like certain enclaves are having problems. You go there to help them and to guide them and to get them to the tough times. Nothing bad happens. We'll say you and the Resonant Band go there to kind of sort things out and help out, and also helping those Drow that want to escape the Underdark. Not so much, that's one thing Elstree wants to do. Whether they want to follow her faith or not is immaterial, but helping getting those, I would say the money that you would want to use would be to help get those Drow that escape the Underdark that want to get away from Loth and everything. You could help them.
See, that's all a great idea.
That would be what I think you would more likely do with your. And that would be more important to Elstree than churches.
Works.
There you go.
I'm going to put up a picture of her in a minute, what she looks like when she's
leader of the underground Elven.
I don't know where that picture is.
All right. Next up,
I'll put it up in a minute.
Okay. DPK, what is your homie up to? We get all the stuff happening with the band and things of that nature, and what are some things that you get? What does Britonian get involved with after all this happens? You're muted, by the way. Is he talking?
I don't know.
I
He
don't
doesn't have a
hear
camera.
nothing.
DPK.
Oh, there he is.
I'm not hearing.
Blanked out on me for a second.
I'm not hearing him talk. Say something, DPK. I'm not hearing you.
Hi.
Oh,
There we go.
There
Now
we go. Okay, there we
You're
go.
very low.
You're very low, by the way.
The fuck?
I think you've got the wrong microphone being used.
See her.
Oh, there she is. Oh, there she is.
I'll do something different. Hold on.
Younger Jazz.
Would that be like Dixie?
Let me. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
now?
there you go. Now you're
Yeah,
coming
that's
in.
much
That's
better.
much better.
I don't know what the fuck.
Your audio device.
My microphone
switched.
defaulted to my camera for some
That's
reason.
what it
I don't know
sounded
why.
like. That's always like.
I'm like, I haven't messed with anything, so that was weird.
Well, sometimes reset with Zoom or OBS and stuff. Sometimes it'll set to a default setting. So yeah, it happens to me.
So I don't. Britain would. I don't know. Like he's.
You could
He
just
would
be on for the
definitely wanna-
ride. Yeah, you could just be on the ride.
not really just for the ride. He'd definitely want to be a big part of the academy.
Okay. What
think.
would Britonian teach at the academy?
I think he would teach just basic.
Basics are good. Basics of what?
Like
Music?
Yeah, basics of music and
Music
then learning
comprehension 101, that kind of thing.
Right.
You get them
And
right
then
at
he
the
would also-
start. Yeah, get them going, learn the basics.
Right.
Before they get
And
their ass
then
sent over
he
to
would also,
JohnnyMo.
like teach them basics on like the magic part of stuff too.
All right.
Like
Basic
collecting,
fundamentals, sure.
Yeah, basic fundamentals, collecting of the components.
Got it. Okay.
And then he'd also probably be big on like self-defense,
Okay.
making sure that whether it be spells or weapon, that people knew how to defend themselves.
All right. Brit is in there saying, no, it's Leviosa. Okay. All right. Anything else? Big part of the academy. That's plus your time with the band and doing all that stuff and everything. Anything else? I mean, it's a lot. Is there anything else you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah. And then probably like on the weekends when he's not like doing the academy stuff, he's probably like Probably doing mercenary work. If I was gonna say helping the city guard, but he's an Oathbroken paladin, so he's probably doing mercenary things.
Would you ever want your character, say in the future, to do something in regards to that?
That's what I was thinking about. I was like,
We can leave it on the back burner as something for the possible future.
I don't think he would.
Yeah.
Because what I came up with for him breaking his oath was pretty drastic.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So it's a possibility, but I don't know. He might.
It's something to explore, right? So something
Right.
he wrestles with. But all right, so teaching the next generation, hanging out and making the band famous, doing that stuff, making the academy work, and doing some inner thoughts, stuff like that. Okay, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And Ouchie's got the new picture. Is that the new one you're going with, Ouchie, for Jazz? She said she had another one, right? Or is that what we're going
No,
with?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
No, I put it on the background before, and you couldn't see it because of my chair. So
That's
I
right.
just
There you go.
that instead.
And now you know why they drew their weapons. We're like, who is this? And then we all rounded up. Grimothy, what is Briar? The band becomes famous. You get a mansion and all this other stuff, and become famous. You start a music school. You have merchandising and a store, and you're well known throughout the lands, even in the Badlands. I mean, they wanted to go to Thay, and you were like, no, we're not going to Thay. But what is some individual stuff as we start wrapping things up? What is Briar got going on in the future of his character?
Well, I mean, he's always been one to not be tied down to too much. So I'd say he sticks around for a while, make sure that everybody's good to go and that they're good and all, and then he will end up seeing if Dritz and them wouldn't mind having somebody to tell their tale. He'll tag around with them, toss a coin to your Dritz.
I would say tagging with them on their adventures, no. But sharing their stories with you, yes. Like you want to become like the
I don't mean like tagging along on the big stuff. I mean, that's way out of my pay grade.
No, but
I mean,
I would
like-
say you would be the chronicler. Like they give you the details. Like you actually go in there and say that, and Dritz is like, yeah. We could say that you start writing a whole journal, like Dritz starts sharing all his stories with you of the group and how he came through the Underdark.
Yeah, like
and
my dude turns into Timothy Zahn all of a sudden and starts telling Dritz's tale.
yeah, yeah, and that's going to take you quite a long time because Dritz has hundreds of years of
and when he
stories.
can, he'd like to partake in any of the little side missions they go on that isn't,
Sure, yeah, there's a few things here and there.
because Briar can stay out of the way.
Yeah, I would say with some of the smaller things, sure. But yeah, the big stuff that they go on and like stuff that you read in the books, right? That would be you after the fact, talking with Dritz, like, what happened?
Yeah.
Did you fucking kill anyone? What's going on there, Dritz?
Mm-hmm.
We heard you had an affair while you were in like, what? Those hard, pipe-hitting, cold fact questions. You actually, yeah, I could say that'd be something you do.
And he'd continue doing the back alley bar gigs and stuff like that.
Sure, just like Jazz.
Even though
has
he
her
was
Jazz
famous.
nights. Yeah.
Show
Yeah.
up and give the new guys some pointers and be like, oh hey, is the loot open?
Did you pluck the damn? Did you tune it? Okay, I could see you doing that as your character. Anything else?
No, I think that's about all he would end up doing, to be honest.
Okay.
He's a pretty laid back character.
All right. So then we have where we will leave the Resonant Band for now in their story arc. Heroes of Faerûn, heroes of the realm, known for their great deeds and great music, setting up a life, for now, a comfortable life, a life of comfort and quiet and happiness and joy as they do their individual things to make themselves and those around them better, and making the world better by bringing joy and happiness as they spread their music and stories throughout the land. The Resonant Band becomes a well-known commodity in the lands of Faerûn. For those that know, you know, and can become well sought after. So in the future, if we ever come back to the Resonant Band, that will be where they are at currently in their times. Jazz has become youthful and doing all her stuff, and Ribin's doing his thing, and Dorian's doing his thing at the Academy as well, and so is DPK's character, Brit, and Briar as well. And pick this up in the future. We will
until they are called on.
Until they are called on again. When fate itself steps in, where the Resonant Band once again will be needed through the world. Will they even want to interject themselves?
Hey guys, guess what? The demons are coming back to the Underdark. Ah, fucking hell.
They're like,
We're doing a retirement tour.
I was gonna say, wait, do we get a crossover episode?
Crossover.
I think you just.
No.
I think you just switched back to your
Your
monitor.
other
mic
mic.
yeah, your mic went back to your camera again there, DPK.
Either that or you backed up like 50 feet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible I could have.
it did. Yeah. You can tell immediately. All right. Any final closing thoughts? Now, the plan is for D&D next weekend. We're getting back into the other campaign. So moving forward, we'll be back in Wildmount doing that campaign. I'll have this one. I'll put this one on the back burner for now. I did want to kind of end it and close it out with a good open ending. Like there's an ending, a good happy ending for our characters, but it's still open though. If we ever want to come back to it, we could in the future. So
That's the best way to do it.
Yep.
So let's go around the corner like we always do for now and get some final thoughts and things. JohnnyMo.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. We hope that you enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed playing. Thank you to Ranger for running the game. See you next week.
Hopefully, maybe, somewhat.
I'm hopeful.
I may have to kill Finning. Corinth.
It's been fun. We will hopefully return to the Resonant Band and the Finger Blaster Master Dorian Dahr. And until then, we'll talk with you later.
I still like the idea of doing behind the music with the Resonant Band.
You ever see the one that they did the spoof with Dr. Teeth's band from the Muppet Show?
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be so great. 2 kids from Waterdeep. Chess.
We could have a whole documentary about
I
it.
know.
Like Spinal Tap.
You know what would be really awesome is if we could collab with the Professor of Rock to where he does interviews with all of us.
That would be funny.
If you don't know, Professor Rock is another YouTuber that does
He's really good.
all sorts of rock and roll stuff. He's really cool.
He's really good. It's really good. If you haven't watched it, it's really good. DPK.
Man, it's been a lot of fun. I've attempted to play Oathbroken Paladin a couple times. This is the first time I've gotten through it. It's been fun. I've had a blast with Ranger being the DM and filling the gap for Wildmount. Because I love D&D. I hope you guys all enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yes. Grimothy.
Oh, dude, it's been a ride. This was so much fun, dude. Thank you so much for running this campaign for us, man.
Yes. And we'll decide in the future if we want to come back to the Resonant Band, or maybe we'll start another one. I have evil ideas always.
And thank you everybody for being with us on this journey. It's been a blast.
It's been fun.
And last but not least, the youthful now, Jazmyra. Her glow has returned.
No, wait, Jazz, you're actually glowing.
Mm-hmm.
We can't go to sleep.
Your radioactive treatments.
Like, look, light on, light off. You can't tell.
Yeah, I have permanent light on my. I have like little dancing lights that just do perfect, projection.
So it looks
like I always have stage lights on me.
That moon glow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like everybody said, thanks Ranger for doing this for us. Because if we hadn't, we would have gone all this time with no DnD, and that would have been terrible.
Oh.
Had a lot of fun. I hope everybody else had fun. Thanks for not killing us.
I tried. I really did.
Several times.
Yes.
Definitely would like to play something with these guys in the future because I really like them a lot. And I didn't think I was going to get attached, but I did. So
it's fun when you get a
funny
good
how that
character and characters and a good story.
funny how that happens.
Yeah, it's funny how that goes. Yeah.
And I just remember a long time ago when I was thinking about getting into the Wildmount game, and I was talking to Ranger and saying, Ranger, I kind of think I want to play a Drow cleric. And he's like, you're not a Drow. You're not a Drow. You're not a Drow. So thankfully, I finally got to bring her into the light.
Yes. I was like, I don't know if you're ready for a Drow cleric. That's let's go easy into it first, and then we can start worrying about. Oh boy, but yes, those were the days. Yes, I remember. Yes, thanks to everybody for joining us on this campaign. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the players. Hope that I brought them a fun and enjoyable experience in this journey. It was a campaign I kind of took from. If you want to get the idea of it, it's Out of the Abyss. It's the module for Dungeons and Dragons, with a lot of spins that I put into it. So with anything, as a DM, just advice, the module's there. It'll give you 70% of what you need, right? If you just want to follow it, it'll give you everything you need. But I find that boring, right? Sometimes you look at what's in a module and you'll be like, nah, I'm not going to do that, or I'm going to change it, or I'm going to add some different stuff. And you, as a DM, you have to be flexible and think about those kind of things for your players. Like I'll give you an example, the angel situation. That was they just go to the angels, and then there was this whole other thing that they had about this whole mechanism between Baphomet and Dirtbag, and I'm just like, no. I'm not going about that. That is too stupid. I was like, I don't like that. So what I did is I changed it, and I added a beholder because I thought it would be a fun fight for them to have to fight a beholder. That would actually be something that the beholder in this layer would do. So you got to kind of think about that, add your own flair to it, and make sure that the fights. The toughest thing you're ever going to find is keeping the fights balanced as a DM, and then also, got to get those interactions in. So really think about those NPCs. I try to create as many, from the Drow to the fish people to all the characters that these guys ran into. You got to think about them. The fish people, to the mushroom. We met the macrolids, the mycadids. Sorry,
Mackerel.
The macrolids. Marklar. The Smurfs, who they murdered. You got to think about all this.
Oh, the Smurfs.
Yes.
The Smurfs we squished.
Oh my God, you remember that?
They deserved it.
Coming up on Behind the Music. Ribin goes Godzilla on a village that didn't know what happened.
The bottoms of my feet is still blue. I can't get it out. I've been trying.
So I get to see the guy asking.
vinegar.
So Briton, when you got there, why didn't you try not to step on the people?
That was
There were people?
Don't answer that question. It's a trap.
Look, the statute of limitations ran out on that like 5 years ago.
We better find some good legal representation too.
Having not getting any straight answers from Ribin, we went to the source, to the people that were affected themselves, the Mercs, who now apparently they worship Jasmine as their goddess. La, 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 la.
Yeah, she'll definitely go, back there to
Finish the job.
reminisce.
Yeah.
See
Finish
if
the
there's any
job.
stragglers. Yeah.
Yes. Goes up, everybody's just like, "All hell, Jazz! All
She
hell,
screams,
Jay!
heretic, and burns them all.
Oh, good people of Locker 4-2." All right. With that, we're going to say goodbye for now. You never know in the future what holds for the Resonant Band. That being said, we should be back next week for the Wildman campaign. Keep your fingers crossed. With that, I want to wish everybody a happy weekend. Love you guys. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that stuff for this. And we will holler at you guys soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Bye.